Attention, Doom Debates listeners. We interrupt our usual programming to request that you consider supporting the show. Do you want to see your friends, family, loved ones successfully navigate the next 10, 20 years and beyond instead of being wiped off the face of the earth? Do you want to enjoy the good future where we make breakthroughs in science and technology and we get to enjoy living healthier, longer, getting wiser, getting happier without being wiped off the face of the earth? Do you want to see human civilization expand into the stars, continue to thrive and flourish for trillions of generations, instead of seeing a big flashing game over sign hit us in the face permanently? I sure as hell do. I'm thrilled at the idea of a good outcome, the idea of getting to run the clock for another few decades, centuries, millennia, and beyond, and seeing what we do. Seeing how high the ceiling goes, how incredible things can really be, or just continuing at a pretty good level for a long, long time. I'm thrilled at having that opportunity. We've come so far in order to get this opportunity, and I'd like to see it happen. Rather than, sadly, what I'm worried about, artificial intelligence may soon cause human extinction, leaving the future permanently devoid of the incredible potential value that it once had, just like that, flashing game over. I want to safeguard humanity's chance at participating in this expansive future. I want to swerve away from the premature game over. That's why I started Doom Debates. Doom Debates is my mission, our mission, to lower P-Doom, thereby giving us the maximum chance of letting the good story play out. It's a twofold mission: raise awareness of AI existential risk, and raise the quality of discourse that people can engage with and trust. Our mission is achieved when the average person realizes that AI is life-threatening. To them, to their loved ones, to everyone, urgently life-threatening. Because until that point, unfortunately, we're not at that point yet. And until that point, there's not going to be drastic change. Our leaders are not going to convene one day and say, yeah, let's shut this down, even though nobody is urgently telling us that this is what they want. And even though it'll lose us money in the short term, let's shut it down. Policy doesn't work like that. Leaders don't run way ahead of their grassroots demand. And so somebody has to be there pushing from behind. Somebody has to be there flipping that bit in the average person's brain where AI goes from, oh yeah, seems kind of worrisome, to 5 years until we're all dead? Ah, emergency. To be honest, fear-mongering. That's Doom Debate's point of leverage. There's insufficient fear, insufficient worry, insufficient awareness of the urgency. And until we flip that condition, it's going to be very hard to have change. The good news is, I think it's a powerful leverage point, much more powerful than it normally is when you raise awareness of something. Most movements, when they raise awareness, the change is very incremental. With AI risk, raising awareness just looks like planting the seed in people's minds where they can go look for themselves what the deal is, and they can get more and more shocked and stunned on their own. We don't have to do all the work. We just have to flip it from some vague worry issue. We have to flip it from that to, oh my God, 5 years? This is like a don't look up situation. It's a pretty quick flip. And fortunately, surveys already show mainstream opinion being on our side about the severity of AI existential risk, about the need for government regulation of AI capabilities development, worry about related issues like unemployment. The surveys already are on our side. And that's why the payoff is so high. That's why the leverage is so high by just raising awareness, raising the temperature, raising the urgency. Because in many ways, people are ready. They know what to do. Doom Debates is part of the movement of just giving it a push. Patching in the missing mood, getting to the part of the movie Don't Look Up where people are finally looking up. That's it. Simple as that. That's the mechanism of action, which I believe is currently high leverage, currently moving the needle on P-Doom. So how can you help? If you're on the same page, and many of you are, that the mission is important, that the leverage point we're focusing on makes sense, it does make sense to aim for having the average person see AI as life-threatening. If you agree, well, there's one weird trick you could do that would really help and arguably lower P-Doom, which is to donate some of your hard-earned cash money to me and the show. I'll explain exactly what it goes for in a second, but basically, production and marketing, when we can do more of that, when we can spend more on that every month, that does pull forward the mission. That does accelerate the timeline, which is important because I don't think that the timeline is able to be that long. I think this is a very time constrained mission. And that's why I'm here asking for donations, asking for viewer support. Let me break it down in more detail. Where does the money go? I don't personally make money from Doom Debates. My real job is running relationshiphero.com, an online relationship coaching company that I started 8 years ago. Any income from Doom Debates, i.e., viewer donations and ad revenue, is fully reinvested into production and marketing. So you give me your money, I pass it along directly to the production and marketing costs, and then you get more Doom Debates, better growth metrics for Doom Debates. The biggest expense right now is my new full-time producer, Ori Nagel. Ori is a rock star who I've actually collaborated with for many years, and his fingerprints are all over the first year of Doom Debates, even though he just came on board full-time a few months ago. We got a generous viewer donation of over $25,000 a few months ago, and that's what helped me pull the trigger and say, okay, we got producer Ori full-time. Let's do this. Let's invest more in the show. Let's take it to the next level in year 2. By the way, I hired Ori away from the media and outreach team at Control AI, which is one of the top organizations in the space. Ori helped 10x their growth on social media channels, and now he's helping me. And he's already doing great. If you've noticed the last few months, our production output on the channel, our amount of content has roughly doubled. We've been landing higher and higher quality guests. And there's that snowball effect where we get higher quality guests, we attract more audience, we attract even higher quality guests because the guests want to talk to the bigger audience. We're doing really well with the snowball effect. And honestly, I could do this for free. We don't even need a production budget. The problem is just time. If I had 5 or 10 years to grow the show, no problem. We'd be really successful in 5 or 10 years. I'm here talking to you because I want to do it in 1. The nice thing about having a producer like Ori, who's the total package, having all the relevant skills, is that besides hosting the show, 1 hour of his time is equivalent to 1 hour of my time. We move the show forward by the same amount. When it comes to editing the show, making thumbnails, graphics, YouTube optimization, outreach to different guests, relentlessly following up with some of the busiest guests that we want to get onto the show, all of that stuff besides hosting the show, you can imagine there's now 2 of me. The only hiccup is that now, because this is Ori's full-time job, he needs to get paid every month. I don't know why. He says he needs to support himself. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it is what it is, and I think it's worth it. So that's been most of the show's budget so far. But going forward, we're also planning to invest more into marketing. We think we can convert dollars to faster subscriber growth, simply because the YouTube algorithm isn't 100% efficient at showing our videos to everybody who would really resonate with them. Organic growth is doing great. We're on an exponential where we double roughly every 3 to 4 months. And we think it would be reasonable to try to double in 1.5 months. We don't think it has to be 3 months. It's very contingent on the exact circumstances of the YouTube algorithm. And we can basically use money to help it along. This seems to make a lot of sense because we're not just randomly lobbing the video at people who don't care. When people see our Doom Debates videos, there's a very high rate where they say, wow, I'm glad I discovered this. This is great. And we actually have high engagement numbers, high retention numbers. And so this is what they call in the startup world, product market fit. We're getting a lot of signals across the board that we're onto something. And so the idea of pouring fuel in the fire, putting a little bit of money behind it, both on production and marketing, it makes sense. Now, believe me, I know I have plenty of experience where I'm not going to spend too much. Okay, it's a common failure mode to get ahead of yourself with too much money. I think that I know how to strike the right balance where we augment blood, sweat, and tears with the right amount of money to accelerate it. It's a delicate balance, but I'm optimistic that we're going to navigate it. And that optimal number of how much marketing money to put behind our production efforts each week is going to be greater than 0. All right, how does one go about donating to the show? You can donate as little as $10 per month if you go to my doomdebates.com Substack. I'm always encouraging everybody to subscribe for free to my doomdebates.com Substack. But if you want to take it up a level, if you want to pay me $10 a month, then that shows your support and it raises our profile on the leaderboard, because Substack is like, oh my God, this publication has 500 paid subscribers. And then maybe Substack wants to promote it more or it looks more legit. If you become a Substack premium subscriber, I'm not going to give you free content because all the content's free. We're trying to reach the maximum number of people. But I'm going to give you a free Doom Debates t-shirt and P-Doom pin so you can go out there in the real world and represent Doom Debates. And a lot of people tell me that the Doom Debates shirt is a really good conversation starter because it's not confrontational. It just says Doom Debates, but it makes people wonder what you're talking about. And it also says on the back, what's your P-Doom? It's a really fun shirt. All right, now let's talk about the tier that really moved the needle for the show's budget. I call this mission partners. If you're serious about doing something to lower P-Doom, $1,000 is the level where you start to move the needle for this show's budget. This is the level where I officially consider you a partner in achieving the show's mission. Because a donation in the thousands of dollars meaningfully increases our capacity to execute on all of the show's core functions, core operations, like guest booking. Some guests are hard to get. You need constant follow-up. Pre-production. We do elaborate research about all the guests' different positions, stuff they've said in the past, what we think would be a good debate. You're generally looking at 12 to 25 hours of preparation time to be able to properly interview or debate a guest. We got production, like improving my studio. We could probably use a little bit more furniture and decorations, in my opinion. We've got post-production, basically editing, making the guest easier to listen to, getting those cuts dialed in visually. That's a pretty big time sink. And finally, like I said, marketing, which doesn't just mean paying for ads. It also means making clips, TikTok shorts, YouTube shorts, conference sponsorships, like we did Manifest a few months ago. A lot of different ways that marketing is a multiplier on our production effort. If you like that Doom Debates is spending money to accelerate toward this high leverage mission, getting the average person to realize that AI is life-threatening, if you think we're using money in a good way, then please go to the show notes. We've got a PayPal donate link. Just head over there. You can email me if you have any questions. If you want to donate crypto, just shoot me an email, liron@doomdebates.com. I would be honored to have more viewer donations. We've got a few so far, and they really help. Of course, some donation amounts are extra meaningful to the show. If you're able to donate $10,000, $25,000, $100,000, that's going to be, 10 times, 25 times, 100 times more impactful than a $1,000 donation. I don't make the math. It is what it is. Larger donations are appreciated because the budget to produce a high quality show is over $100,000 a year. And the revenue we make from ads is like a few $1,000s a year. So until we can bridge that gap, we really think it makes sense to have some viewers chip in, become mission partners. We'll close that gap and we'll pull forward the show's growth. I hope a lot of you are as impatient as I am to get this growth trajectory going faster. And you agree that, yeah, let's throw some money at the problem. Now you might be thinking, who, me? I've never done any AI X risk activism. I've always just watched podcasts and worried about it and hoped that somebody else would solve the problem. Does it really make sense for me to just throw money at the problem without getting my hands dirty directly? And to that I say, hell yeah, it does. I mean, you're putting your time and energy into making money to fund the show. Unlike the 99.999% of people who are basically like, I'm an NPC. I'm just going to sit back and worry about it, but I don't see anything I can do. You would be stepping up and playing a strategy that actually has a chance to help win. The strategy of, let's help the average person see AI as life-threatening. That would actually help the grassroots, the fundamentals of policymaking. That would actually help the amount that our leaders are willing to stick their neck out and make bold policies like an international treaty to pause AI. This is actually a leverage point. And if you've identified that, and you just go to work and you don't directly do AIX risk activism, you just go to your job, make some money, and send it over to Doom Debate so that we can execute on this plan that you agree makes sense. Yes, that's really good. You've identified an actual plausible plan. I happen to be the one more directly executing the plan, but I can only do it at an optimal pace if some of you step up to help out. That's why when I call you a mission partner, it's not BS, I mean it. Because mission partners care so much about achieving the show's mission, I see them as the show's brain trust. So we've got a private mission partners channel in the show's Discord. We talk about information that I can't share publicly, like what the pipeline of guests look like, what are the best strategies to debate the guests. Sometimes we share interesting gossip, like which AI company's CEO liked my spicy tweet. We also do a monthly mission partners meeting for anybody who's interested in high level strategy. It's totally optional. And of course, every mission partner gets credited on the show, unless you prefer to remain anonymous. So I hope you'll consider becoming a mission partner. I hope you'll consider donating to the show. A lot of viewers message me about what they can do to help, and they're thinking about starting their own organization or looking for a job where they can lower AIX risk. And those are all good moves as long as the organization that you're creating or joining has a realistic plan to lower PDoom. In my opinion, Doom Debates is currently taking a straight shot on goal to lower PDoom by fixing this obvious problem, the obvious bottleneck where the average person won't even tell you that they think AI is life-threatening to them and their family immediately. That is an obvious bottleneck. It's hard for me to imagine a win scenario where we don't fix that, and so we're taking a straight shot to fix that. That could potentially be a great answer to the question about how you personally could help the situation. The category of things that are extremely high leverage for a relatively modest investment and have a plausible exponential growth ahead of them, there actually is a big opportunity here, even though it may not look like it today. It may today just look like sparks that were on the right track. Before you know it, this could actually be a big impact. Which brings me to the growth graph. So if you're watching the video version of this, I'll put up the graph. This is the Doom Debates YouTube channel views by quarter. So you can see we started in Q3 of 2024 and we had like a few tens of thousands of total views per quarter. And then by the time it was early 2025, we'd have like 100,000 views per quarter. And then heading into mid 2025, we've already crossed 250,000 and we're just crossing 500,000 views per quarter. And so I've extrapolated the line and I've said, hey, we're going to get 1 million views per quarter. That's where we're heading next. And of course, marketing, better guest booking, better production, that all helps. But we're off to a really good start. And we absolutely are at the point where we want to pour a little bit of fuel. That's what they call money. Pour a little bit of fuel on the fire. I hope that you'll help me do that. I think this is the right time to act. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking you. I would just keep working on it for free because I like to. Okay, I've beat the dead horse. I think you get the message. Check out the link in the show notes. Email me if you have any questions, liron@doomdebates.com. To everyone who believes in the Doom Debates mission as much as I do, and believes in my ability to execute on that mission, and now producer Ori's ability to execute on that mission, and who's acting on your belief by donating your hard-earned cash money to the show and becoming a mission partner. I want to say thank you. We won't let you down. And I'll see you in the Mission Partners Discord.